21. I'll roll call.
Chairperson Holland.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Ferry.
Here.
Commissioner Russell.
Here.
Commissioner Bowman. Here. Commissioner Woods.
Here.
Commissioner Oberg. Here.
Just here. Hobbling a little bit here.
Commissioner Hamilton is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. If you'll stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item 1, consideration of public comments. Those wishing to address the Clean City Commission need not request permission in advance. Action taken as a result of public comments will be limited to directing staff to study the matter or rescheduling the matter for consideration and decision at a later time pursuant to ARS 38-431 and others. Okay, is there any public comments? Anybody on Zoom or?
No, sir, we received no notification for public comments.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go on to item 2, old business. 2A is community outreach and education.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this item was placed on the agenda by Vice Chair Ferry. I guess I yield the floor to her to kind of talk about what the idea would be behind this program.
So we discussed this a little bit at the last meeting. Really, I think that, a big way that we could be helpful to the community is to focus on more outreach and education. And without a recycling program, I think that we could focus a little more on educating about minimal waste. And not only is that good for the environment, but it also can save the city in tipping fees. So really we just, I requested that we put this on the agenda so we could have a discussion. So I was thinking that maybe a part of the meeting could be dedicated to having some sort of educational presentation. So that's really, you'll hear this from me a lot, that's one of my goals this term on Clean City Commission is to really focus on the community engagement, community outreach, and education. So I think that if we look to programs and groups that are already doing this work in the community, we could really kind of, showcase what they're doing, and maybe if they need some support as far as helping to kind of promote their event or share it on our Facebook page, or maybe possibly in the future having some sort of a space on the website where we could kind of let the community know when different classes are going on. But for example, I spoke with the Mojave County Master Gardeners, and there's a couple women that would be really open to coming and giving a short presentation about backyard composting. So that's just an example. Really, I think we could use this time to discuss if anyone else thought that there might be some different type of educational information that we could share with the community. But how do you guys feel about using a small part of our meeting to, for education to the community?
That's fine. When AdoptABlock has, excuse me, when AdoptABlock, other AdoptABlocks, if there are any, do they notify you that they're doing a cleanup, that we could maybe participate with it?
Generally, no.
Okay.
Rod, you got anything to comment on that?
I think that's a great idea. I don't know anything about composting other than what you were speaking of at the last meeting. So if we could get someone to come and talk for 15 minutes at the next meeting, you think we could put that on the agenda and maybe allow 15 minutes, or how long do you think they would need to?
I think that we should probably ask that it's brief, with respect to everybody's time, but then that they could share their information or how to contact them for more. Really, what I would love to see is people coming to our meeting, learning about composting, having more questions, being more engaged, wondering how they can help. Is there a way they can volunteer with the city? I think the more education we have, like maybe if we look to the future and we do want to do any type of program where we need community support, I think that's a good way to kind of get people engaged and involved.
And I was going to ask Rob, how in the past have we reached out to the public and let them know we were doing some kind of program, or even like we talked about the weed abatement and stuff along city? How do we reach out to the public? Maybe even let the public know that we're going to have these people here at one of our meetings?
Well, I think primarily through special events. We were we pretty much went to every special event in town. And so last year,
The
when
COVID
that kind of
thing,
stopped, we started rethinking things a little bit. So, we've got the website and Facebook page, and we can do videos. We've done videos on the city-based Facebook page. These two gentlemen will be the stars of an upcoming video on solid waste, the new rate structures, and some do's and don'ts about, bag and tie your garbage and don't overstuff your can. And so, and they're more than happy to do as many of those videos as we want to. So they're pretty excited about it. But, I think this is a great idea, and I guess just as a reminder, just because this room's not full of people doesn't mean people aren't watching these meetings. And they're on the YouTube channel, they're on the website. It's surprising how many people watch council and commission meetings. So I think there's still that potential to reach quite a few people and get some of this information out. So and I'm not trying to cut off any discussion, but I think a couple items here would be whether we want to make this a regular part of the agenda, that we're either having an outside group do a presentation, or we're trying to line up the next outside group to come in and do a presentation. So, we would need a motion and a vote on that item, and then direction if we were to, work with the vice chair to work with the master gardeners to help them set up a presentation and get them scheduled in here for that.
So Sarah, you think it's too soon to get them here for the next meeting, or should we do all the research and then have them for the following meeting?
I think that, it depends on their availability, but they said that they'd be willing to come and give a short presentation if we were ready to have them come. I think that as far as future presentations, maybe we can let you know, and then you guys have an idea of what's already on the agenda. So if we've got a heavy agenda, maybe we could put it off until the next time. But that was kind of how I was thinking about maybe putting it on the agenda, if that works for everybody.
I have a question on putting it on the agenda. Is it going to be an agenda item, or is it going to be a presentation before we start the agenda? Like the county does, if they have a presentation for, a special thing or not, it's before the actual agenda. So just kind of, is it going to be part of the agenda or before the agenda?
Well, I would think it would be part of the meeting. We have to do our business at the beginning, with the roll call and those things, but generally, we're not recording these Zoom meetings until that gavel pounds. So anything we did before that would not be on this video, which would be another way that people could see it.
Okay. So Sarah, back to that. If you talk to them and they said, yes, we can do it at the next meeting, if we can find that out within a week time frame, would that give you enough time to maybe put it on the website and, or would we rather announce it at our next meeting that they're going to be here? You said there's a lot of people watching the meetings, so
Well, I
maybe we
think-
should wait and,
Well, and a lot of people go back and watch them after the fact, you know. But I think, you know, when we meet and set the agenda, you know, the week before the meeting, I guess we would have an idea whether we were ready to have somebody in. And I guess my thought was just to keep it as a regular item on the agenda, because either we'd have the presentation or we'd be exchanging ideas on who we might be able to approach about another presentation.
I just want to make sure we give an optimal time for the public to know. So if someone is interested, they can watch that meeting.
Is this something that we could, do we post all of our Clean City Commission meetings onto our Facebook?
It's posted on city Facebook website, and our agenda packets, or our agendas are posted the week before the meeting.
Okay, because I think that really what we want to do is we want to have people kind of tuning into the meeting. So I wanted, like, we really got together and cleaned up the agenda so it could be, you know, really some clear discussion on what's on the agenda. But I think also people might look forward to, you know, learning something. So maybe through these little educational presentations, we could kind of get more people engaged in watching the videos. So if we could, you know, next month, if we have the presentation, we can share it on the Facebook page and people can watch it after
Yeah, I think we could definitely, you know,
the live kind
even
of.
just edit that portion out of the whole tape of the whole meeting and make that available on Facebook.
Oh, that's nice.
I believe. I'd have to verify that with our PIO.
Or just leave it and then they have to learn about all this other awesome stuff.
So you need a motion to keep this on the agenda?
That was my thoughts, but I guess I'm open if anybody has other ideas. I just thought that we'd either have a presentation or we'd be talking about who we were trying to line up next for the presentation.
Well, I'll make the motion that we keep the old business, community outreach and in education on the agenda.
I'll second.
Go ahead. I'll second.
Take your pick.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? The ones that didn't chime in, do you have any input?
I totally support it. I think it'd be a great idea. I think there's a lot of folks that like the idea. They just do not know where to start. And so I think having something here that we could, you know, we have some empty chairs, but seeing that it may bring in others, you know, and make it more about just cleaning up an area, you know.
Yeah.
Because when they say clean city, a lot of they just think we're cleaning up an area. There's a lot more to it than just that portion of what we do. So I think I totally support it and think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I think that we had talked about the, you know, city maybe composting on a municipal level. And at that waste expo that we went to a couple years ago, they were really hammering down. There was 3 kind of panelists that cities that had municipal composting, and one city had done an educational program with the community, and they had backyard composters before they ever considered anything citywide, and the others went right to it and they didn't have great success. They had a lot of contamination and they had all kinds of problems. And so I think if down the road we even want to really dream about that, we've got to really get a army of backyard composters together. So, you know, I think, and we don't own our landfill, so we pay tipping fees. So I think anything we can do to keep stuff out of the landfill is good for our city.
So Sarah, just so we're clear, you're going to take this next 30 days or whatever, lock these people up, get them ready, so we can announce it at the next meeting.
I mean, I guess it's up to the commission. I could ask if they present at the next meeting, and we've been getting together, Wayne and I, and Rob, and some other folks from the city, and putting together the agenda, so we just have like a nice, clean agenda. So I think if they're ready, we could put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
That's what, I would like to do that. If it gives us ample time to notify the public, however we do that, through the Facebook, or we could even,
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of whenever they feel that they're ready.
Yeah,
So there's a motion on the floor.
motion.
in a second.
All right, we're still in the discussion state. My question would be, okay, once we get somebody to come teach something here, that's like a preliminary training. So when and how do we get that out into the community? And who's, are we going to coordinate that with whoever, does composting or recycling or whatever the subject is? How do we get more widespread?
Well, I was thinking that if they came and gave a presentation, this is something that they do on a regular basis. And actually, when we give announcements, I'll share when they do their next community composting meeting. But just to promote groups that are already doing this in the community, I think that that's what we can do, is use our resources to really support people that are already doing it in the community.
And
So
I
they
think-
can come and give their information, and if you'd like to hear more, this group, and they're through ASU, and so I think that
I'm
might
sure
be
they have a
good.
lot of followers too, that they could announce, hey, we're going to do a presentation at the Clean City Committee, make sure you log in and watch, or come to the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So,
Fee, do you have any?
My comment was, I like the idea. I think it's great. Them coming here and talking to us is like preaching to the choir, but we will learn a little something that we probably don't know. And then we can pass that on, hopefully some way, to the public through written literature and our own little bit of knowledge that we can glean from them at various things like First Friday, if we want to set up a booth. And I don't know if we're going to have the Public Works Expo on the street again this year.
Well, I guess-
Social distancing prevailing, I don't know, because we can't have a lot of people in here with social distancing. We're not going to gain anything.
And that's the next item on the agenda.
Yeah, so
We do have a motion.
I personally think it's a real good idea.
All right, we have the motion on the board to continue this and schedule, or work on scheduling the first class and stuff. So if you're, take a vote now. If you're to the affirmative, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried unanimously. All right, 2B is the event calendar.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, we've been carrying this item on our agenda with the hopes maybe that some of our special events will be added, start adding back in. I do have a couple notes for this month from our shop. So we work with ADOT. We try to help ADOT maintain some of their rights of way. That includes the traffic interchanges. So generally, if you see people working out, trimming trees or cutting weeds at the I-40 traffic interchanges, those are our guys and gals. So we gave them a project this month of cleaning the medians on 66 from the airport to Airway Avenue, and they removed 77 bags of trash from there. Ed and his team participated in a couple events. We had an e-waste event in conjunction with Mojave Community College, and we supported the county's hazardous household waste event. And between those two events, 1,100 tons of e-waste material? Was it 1,100 tons? 11. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. 11.08 tons. Okay, I missed my point.
That's still a lot of times.
So 11 tons of e-waste material were collected, and we disposed of those up in Las Vegas as part of those two events.
Nice.
As Commissioner Russell had mentioned, the City Expo is scheduled for June 10th. That'll be at Centennial Park. So those plans are being finalized. There'll be representatives from every city division, along with some outside organizations. I believe that the hospital, community college, Unisource, some other organizations have been invited. I'm not sure who all is accepted, but it'll be on the big parking lot on the Burbank side of Centennial Park. We'll have a lot of our equipment down there, and our public safety folks will be showing off a lot of their toys down there. So you're more than welcome to visit us that day. It's Thursday, June 10th. I believe we're starting at 3 o'clock and going to about 6 o'clock. So I believe that's all I had for the update on the calendar. I don't know if anybody else has become aware of any new or any old events that are restarting, or any new events in the next few months.
What time is the expo?
It's 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
3 to 6. Sorry about that. Missed that.
And is that something that will have a booth, Clean City?
Yeah, our solid waste folks will have a booth, and you're more than welcome to join us there.
Thank you.
Could we bring some, as volunteers of the Clean City Commission, could we bring some applications for the AdoptABlock program?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have those. We'll get some of our, there's an item later on the agenda, but we'll get all of our applicable forms and applications. I have them there available.
Okay, is this something, would you guys be opposed to having a little flyer about the composting presentation if we line it up in the meeting?
I don't believe so, but yeah, I guess I'd like to look it over first.
Be a good opportunity to get something out to them.
Any other
Our
additions?
meeting's the 17th, and this is before.
Yep.
Exactly. So if we can get some flyers out at
Well-
Bob's event, that we're gonna.
Or does Mojave County have flyers already made up for composting that we could use?
I can ask them when we do it. I saw their flyer that they have on Facebook, and it looks kind of like pick part sort of thing. So, but I'll ask them if they have anything. I mean, they won't for this event because they haven't planned it yet, but if they do.
All right, if there's no other additions.
I got one little thing. In either late August or early September, United Way was planning another cleanup day, a day of carrying again. They haven't set a date as I know yet, but I'll talk with Debbie and see how things are going and get that information back as soon as possible. Something that kind of crossed my mind, and I don't know if they'd let us do it or not, and I'll talk to Gene Kirkham, but there's two commissioners here that have old classic cars, and I was thinking maybe we could even use chillin' on Beale and put a little thing out saying Clean City Commission on our car and pass out information on everything that we're trying to do as far as cut down the amount of trash that people put in their garbage cans. Just, if nothing more than just breaking down boxes and things like that. Just talk to them. That was the only thing I had going. Seemed like there was one other thing. Can't think of it now. All I'm thinking is all the work we used to put in going to grocery stores and passing out reusable bags and trying to talk to people. They took the reusable bags and any goodies we had to give away and never saw them, never talked to them again.
Well, you know, grocery stores aren't even allowed to touch the reusable bags that you bring in now.
They've eased a little bit on that. There were
Has
some
it?
of them that absolutely would not use your reusable bag to pack. Yeah, but they will do it now.
There's Main Street is doing June 5th is National Trails Day. And Main Street and Colorado River Area Trail Alliance are doing a trail cleanup at White Cliffs Wagon Wheel Trail. Is this something that we could put on the calendar to invite anybody from the Clean City Commission if they want to come and help clean up? Colorado River Area Trail Alliance is going to be showing everyone kind of as a hiker how to clean up a trail? Or is this just something that would be an announcement to invite people to,
No, I think.
just
we
for
can-
future reference?
I think we can put those on the calendar. It'd just be for reference.
Okay.
Commissioner Ferry, is the Main Street going to have First Fridays this year?
Main Street has handed First Fridays over to the businesses, so they're all working together to do kind of more of a grassroots type of a First Friday.
Okay.
So
Is that something we could take advantage of, or,
if a business would like to host us,
okay?
we could pop up in front of any business. That's kind of how it is.
That's how it would work, okay.
Yeah. I know a business downtown that would probably be happy to let y'all pop up if you want to.
All righty, anything else?
I have a question. White Cliffs, what time?
8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we're just meeting at the trailhead,
And what was the date?
June 5th.
Are they doing that like a certain Saturday every month? Because I remember the last time you were, like the last two meetings, you had stated that they were doing a cleanup.
Yeah, we do a cleanup. So our meeting is the second Thursday, so it's always the third Saturday. But this one is sooner because it's National Trails Day.
Third Saturday is also Chillin' on Beale.
All
Are we
righty.
going to do another cleanup for our AdoptABlock before the end of the year?
Well, yeah, well, I think we'd probably go in with the day of caring whenever.
Okay, if they schedule it, yeah.
Sometime that week.
Okay.
All righty, moving on, we have 2D of the Community Recognition Program. Oh, Service to the Community Program, back up to C.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, we've been talking for a little bit about this community service program. I do have some developments. I had a good meeting with our risk management folks, and they are working away at a waiver form.
They're doing what?
They're working on a waiver form. So
Oh, okay,
again,
got
with this program, we'd be working with other volunteers to go onto private property to help people out who either were physically unable or financially unable to clean up their own lots. And so we would need a waiver form from the property owner. If it were a rental, we would need a waiver form that was signed by the renter and the property owner. And then if we were working with service groups, Rotary or whoever, we would need a waiver form for those folks, basically stating that while they're working on this project with us, they're not covered by workman's compensation or anything else. So I gave her quite a bit of work, but she is working on it. So hopefully I'll have something back next month to show you on that end of it. And then I think the other thing is it was pointed out to me that that's a pretty boring name, community service program. So I guess I would be open for nominations. If you'd like to email me any suggestions you had for a program name, we can kind of compile those and maybe go through those at our next meeting. I had a couple in mind, but then when I Googled them, I found out that they're already trademarked and they're already other organizations. So I could use a little help on that front. But again, I'm real excited about this program. I think this would be something great for the commission to focus on, in working with existing service organizations in the community. I know that most of them do this kind of work, some type of work like this, and being able to work with them, and then being able to work with some of our local businesses to generate, donations for, supplies or PPE or tools or whatever it may be. I think kind of the scope I've got in mind is, we'd be doing, like yard work, maybe some painting, and maybe some light repairs. I don't think we'd be doing any heavy repairs that, I don't think we'd be fixing block walls that should be fixed by a contractor. I think it would be the lighter repairs but I think there's a lot of that work out there, and I think between, the folks that our code enforcement people run into that, have trouble meeting what they have to do to clean up their properties, or even working with the service organizations and local churches, I think they can give us applicants for this program. So I'm pretty excited about it, and hopefully I'll have a waiver form for you to look at next month, and we can talk about names a little bit. And then I think once the waiver part is finalized, then I think we can start hitting the streets with, going out there and trying to outfit our trailer with all the tools and supplies we'll need, and start pounding the pavement looking for applicants in need. So
Code enforcement right now does not forward any information or people that need help, right? At this point?
no, ma'am, because currently until we establish all this
Legal
program,
garbage, excuse me.
we're not able, we don't go on private property.
Okay.
So we need to get this framework in place to allow us to do that. So that's what we're working on.
So once we get the waivers, things sorted out and stuff, how are we going to outreach to the community? Are we going to meet with different community leaders or organizations and stuff like that? And
Well, and that's where I would look for your help. I think once this program's in place, I would hope that all of us would be able to hit, one service organization meeting a month to talk about this. And maybe visit some of our local churches to talk about this. And be knocking on the doors of a couple of local hardware stores to talk about this and what they can do to help us out. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a job for all of us.
I've already given you a list of 4 big contractors here in town that are willing to step up and do that. Casey at Walmart said he'll supply water, whatever we need. And
So
Bash said the same.
We need to get the framework right. So
Right.
I don't want to stop and then start because I forgot to do something. Forgot to dot an I or cross a T. So
okay, I'm excited about that, and I know the code enforcement, they should be one of our prime information people with a lot of the individual homeowners that need help and stuff like that, that can't, because they'll probably find out about it before anybody else, so, other than us going out and looking, but, yeah, I think they'll be a big part of the overall program and stuff,
And Chair, I've already talked to Sergeant Rifle, who's in charge of the code enforcement, discussed this program with him, told him that Rob's getting waivers put together. He's willing and ready whenever we are. He has plenty of people that, right now, they're actually sending it to a couple church groups. Like when they run into somebody like that, they're forwarding the information to church groups. And there's a couple church groups he mentioned that actually go out and help people in need.
and I will always have my trailer from the cactus cleaners available for that also if we need additional haul capabilities, so that's there, and I can probably even get some help from them, so.
I think we've got one rear load truck that still works, so hopefully we can handle that.
So Rob, you need another motion on this to keep it on the agenda?
I don't think so. I think we did it the last. Yeah. I think we're good. Yeah, we'll have some new information, so.
Should stay on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, getting that going, because I think it will make something, a visible contribution to a cleaner Kingman, so I'm excited about that.
And also, I would, for the donations that we're going to get, whether it be from a hardware store or water from businesses, I think we should also be able to, give them recognition as well, somehow. I don't know if that's going to be on the webpage, or they'll always like to
Even in the newspaper in rants and raves, if nothing else, but
yes,
we could do
something.
that.
Well, we can talk about that with the next item on our
Oh,
agenda.
Does my question to you fall under this item about the applications for the awards?
Next item.
Next item.
Next item.
Oh, I thought we were already on D. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I skipped ahead because I looked at it before and it was different colors, so I'm thinking, okay, let's go to the next one, so.
We will be looking mainly at the private sector and not commercial buildings, as I take it.
You mean to partner on the?
As far as rehabbing buildings and whatnot that are run down.
Service to the community.
Service to the community that we were just talking about.
We're not doing
Like,
commercial.
like we used to do with the paint-a-thon and that sort of thing.
Well, no, I think it would be focused towards residential properties that are having problems maintaining code compliance.
Okay.
Or, other extenuating circumstances that they're having issues.
Now, if we run into a situation, which we did run into here back in 2014, there was a section of 4 buildings that were getting run down, and during the day of carrying, we went out and rocked the whole front of it and did a whole lot of painting and fixing up to these 4 apartment houses, and found out later that they were owned by one of our local real estate people that had enough money they could have gone in and done it all themselves.
Yeah. I would think that we would want to maintain the focus on, residential properties.
Yeah.
Single-family residential properties. And I'd say we start with that scope and then see. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be revisiting it next year. As far as what kind of tweaks or additions we'd want to make to the program. So.
One problem I ran into when we were trying to do this with the county was, and it might be something environmental health may have to get involved with, but we ran into the problem with, we was going to clean up a property, but there was a lot of syringes and needles and stuff on the property, so we ended up not doing it because we didn't want to expose the volunteers to those things, so they had to go about it to a different avenue to get that done. So that might be something for code enforcement to look at when they're checking out the program.
I think when we have an applicant, I think we would do a pre-screen to try to eliminate that kind of issue, I mean, we're,
Right.
especially if we're gonna have people from outside organizations helping us, or, have you folks there, it's gotta be safe first,
Right.
so,
Sure, have to be a site visit and.
yeah.
Yeah, just something to kind of remember. All righty. We'll go on to 2D now, Community Recognition Program.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, so I believe we do have our application complete for that. So we'll be putting that application on the Facebook page and on the website. We'll have some of those available for our special events. I think we can have those at the expo. But again, I guess, you're kind of our eyes and ears out there, so, as you see properties that have gone to great strides to improve their impact on the community, then, I guess I would look to you for input on nominees for that certificate program, so.
We're gonna find that application on our website, the Clean City website, or the city, where we
We'll
gonna
have it
find
on the city website and on the city Facebook page. And we could probably send you the document.
Yeah.
I can send you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have one here, it's just that it's on 3 different pages. I was gonna copy it off, and then I found out that it was something on the back here. Okay.
All righty, so I guess be on the lookout for places that's made obvious improvements to their properties out there. And now this could be commercial or private, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Or just commercial?
commercial or
Okay.
residential, yeah.
Okay, very good. Do we have anything else on that line? All righty, we'll go to announcements by commission members. Limited to announcements, availability, attendance at conferences, seminars, and requests for agenda items for future meetings. We'll start out with Miss Kathy.
What's the status of the fair? Do we want to do the fair this year? Although, I've got mixed emotions. The fair is countywide, where if we just stay with Public Works, except that's more central for.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think to bring it up during the event calendar, but I'll make a note that next month we'll talk about it during the event calendar.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Rod?
Just one quick thing to back up to to try and get it out to the public, like what Sarah's working on with that. What about the newspapers, like the little Standard? I get the Standard to the house every week, and then there's the other newspaper. I know they'll do announcements for free if we just let them know that Clean City Commission is having a compost get together, or presentation on such and such date, and they'll put it in that little Standard, and they'll put it in, even some of those little flyers, the hometown crier and all that. So maybe we could approach some of those people too to announce it that way.
Okay, yeah, I could talk to the PIO about that.
All right. Teresa?
Just to add to that, the radio also does announcements at no cost for that type of
Public service.
but that's all I have. Thank you.
See?
About all I had was a big thank you for all of the people that participated in the cleanup that we had last month, or was it 2 months ago? I can't remember, time flies. But everything, the place looked great and still looks pretty doggone good, even with all the winds we've been having. So again, kudos to all of the staff.
Thank you. Sarah?
Okay, I just wanted to tell you, Rob, I really appreciate your letting us know about the impact that you guys have made and all the trash you guys picked up. That's really amazing. So thank you. I think it's good for us to hear, what you guys are doing. I also wanted to let you guys know that the Mojave County Master Gardeners, they're doing a presentation at the Mojave County Library. And if you haven't been yet, it looks so beautiful. I'm so proud of it. It's on home composting, and it's June 19th. It's from 1 to 3 p.m. And it's a free presentation to the community. There's no reservations, but seating is limited. So if you want to get a deeper dive into home composting, June 19th, 1 to 3 p.m.
You said Mojave County,
at the library,
At the library.
here in Kingman or in Kingman?
Kingman. And again, June 5th, National Trails Day, and that's going to be really fun. We're looking for volunteers. Invite all your friends, 8 to 10 a.m.
Rob?
I had a request for an agenda item on, excuse me, kind of on roles and responsibilities of a commissioner. So I guess rather than put that on an agenda, I'll put together an email. I'm kind of compiling some different things from Commissioner Handbook and then some of the past planning that we've gone through, like when we had the joint commission meeting with the council. So I'm kind of going through there. So I'll be putting together an email to send out to the commission, and then just as a reminder, if you reply to me, just reply to me, not everyone. And you know, if there's anything in there that sparks any interest on things that you'd like to talk about during the meeting, then let me know, and we can talk about that.
I got one specific, exactly what you're talking about there. I got the one on the responsibilities must be from the city code or something like that. And then we have the responsibilities that's on the Clean City Commission. When you look that up about the applications and stuff, it has the responsibilities there that are not necessarily exactly what's on the other one. So maybe we can look at both of them and combine them or something. And
Yeah, and-
that's,
well, yeah, I'll talk about it later. I guess I'm talking too much. This is an announcement, so sorry.
all right, that just happened to be the exact same thing you was talking about there. So, all right, if that's it, we'll have a motion for adjournment. Okay, we have a motion. Anybody second? Rod seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.